And I really, really believe that every person who signed into this call today is going to be witnessing more and more phenomenon, not even as disclosure happens on a grander scale, but even just in your personal lives in this year. I feel like the specific message that's coming through and the specific group of people who made it here today have been gathered because you're being prepared for this kind of contact. So hope that's okay with you guys. All right. Well, I'll drop into channel and then I'll open it up to questions. Hello, Kelly is giving me permission just to speak through her today because that would be much simpler than having a back and forth and passing on. And we know that your time is very important here today. The name I'm giving Kelly to refer to me as is Robert. I know that this is funny, but she could honestly not pronounce my name. I am an Alpha Centaurian, as you would call me, on a starship that is currently orbiting the Earth. It is a 180-meter long ship. It is grey, long, and slender. It has triangular points on either side so that we can easily change the direction of our travel. Although at the moment we are not using our engines, we are simply rotating around the Earth, making observations on the planet. I am connected to Kelly through a Starseed Envoy program, and many of you are in this program too. I will allow you to draw your own conclusions as your memories wake up. Our role on the ship is to observe the starseeds there on Earth and make sure that they are comfortable in their missions. You are protected, and we do not allow anybody to perish who does not have a soul contract to do so. Sometimes we beam people's souls back up and we replace the person on the Earth with a walk-in. This is a way of saving some lives who have suffered on the planet there. And if you have known people in your youth who have very much struggled with their mental health and not wanted to live on the planet there, and then suddenly have made a transformation into being what you might think of as a functioning person, it's very, very likely that they did come back home with us and were replaced by someone who felt that their role on Earth was a more suited to what their soul's frequency was accustomed to, that the duality of Earth was something that they were able to cope with. What we want to tell you, though, is that there are people on Earth doing what we might call the dirtiest jobs of getting on the ground and actually extracting what we could call villains there. There are people on the planet who have been deliberately sabotaging the awakening process, who have been enslaving others there. And as you know from listening to some of your conspiracy theories, there is a lot under the surface yet to be purged. We're inviting you here to ignore those stories, to let go of them. We are handling it, and there are teams who are very, very skilled, who are making excellent progress and have made excellent progress in purging the planet of these nefarious creatures. Your role, those of you listening here, is to heal your human body, to bring love to everybody around you, and to get ready for the new Earth by seeding it with your own ideas, projects, families, and new ways of being. Your job is to live in accordance with this idea of paradise in new Earth as if it is already here. You are being asked to choose bliss. You're being asked to choose joy and to live in an open-hearted way as best as you can at every point along your journey. You don't need to be concerned with the darkness of the world. Please understand that that was not your job, and other people are dealing with that. Set yourself free from these distractions. You are here on your journey just to be, love, and to have fun. Many of you have already gone through severe karmic cleansing processes where you've experienced some trauma in order to heal it in the body. Please understand that this was not necessarily your karma as a soul, but a karma that came with the body itself. Have you noticed repeating traumatic patterns in your family lines? You went through some processes so that you could do differently than what your family did. Perhaps you cut out substance abuse or dependency in your family line. Perhaps you chose to raise your children differently, even though they had the same problems that you and your grandparents may have had growing up. However, you chose to raise them differently. These are all karmic contracts that the body has with the family line. And in taking on these same challenges, but rewriting the story, you're healing the body. Please do not see these challenges as some kind of karmic debt that you had to repay because of some perceived slight in a past life or this light. You are all there as volunteers, and you are not being punished in any way. Therefore, we invite you to let go of any need to punish yourselves or judge yourselves, and instead begin to embrace all of the light that you have and can share there on the planet. It is time now to have as much fun as possible and to do it in ways that you see as sustainable and loving. Thank you for talking with me today. Hey. Thank you. That was new information for me too. So that was pretty cool. I can still feel him hanging around if anyone has any questions for Robert, which I find hilarious. Like Bob specifically. Or otherwise, if you'd like, I can tune in to your guides as well, or into my guides, or even answer some practical question yourselves. So happy to take a breath. Crystal's cackling over Robert. Yeah, me too. I love that the higher ups have got a sense of humor. You know, it's easy to imagine them all as like these stone-faced angels or like Mr. Spock or something, but they're all, so far, I've noticed a sense of humor.
I think there was a bit of realizations with, I'm a bit emotional, I don't know why, with what Robert said. I think the world has been getting me down a lot. Just I find I'm a big conspiracy theory person, so to hear that, it kind of makes me think that I'm kind of confused in a way why we need to, I suppose the truths that are coming out, I feel like they're important for people to wake up to as well. So without the conspiracy theories, how are we meant to see the world for how it is? And are we meant to see the world for how it is? But I don't know. I think I'm just a bit confused with the way the world is.
That's a good question. I can hear Robert wanting to answer. Do you mind if I throw it over to him?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. It's an exciting question because it allows us to talk about frequency and the stages that people are up to in their journey. Thank you so much for asking that. And thank you too for your part that you're playing in helping to wake people up. You're absolutely correct that seeing some of these horrors, some of this distressing news, and being able to understand that this is true is an important part of many people's awakening journey. However, it does not have to be a part of everybody's. Hopefully that is a phase or a process that people can move through quickly, but we understand that it can be so distressing and also theatrical and sensationalized and addictive in certain ways that it's difficult not to fixate on those stories. What we want you to focus on, though, is what you're bringing in now that that's been cleaned out. Imagine that you're in an old house that you've bought and all the old furniture is still in it. There are musty smells. There are gross items left behind under the floorboards. The paint needs redoing. Things are peeling. Things are flickering. It's quite broken. Yes, you need to look at all of these things there so that you can clean it out and call the right people to fix it. But if we're not also thinking about what we want to replace this space with, then we're going to end up with an empty, gutted house and with no new furniture, no new fixtures, no new bright, beautiful smells and ways to actually use the space. And if you've ever seen a gutted house in the middle of renovation, you'll know that this creates space for more parasites. You're likely to end up with holes in the system, with vacuums in power, where people come in and just create more mess and more gunk, we'll say. It is not possible to look upon something that you could call evil and also bring an energy of pure creation. Not currently from your perspective anyway, and there are multiple jobs to do. We want you to trust that the people who need to see those hardships will see it in their right time on their own awakening journey. And of course, that's what's happening right now. The problem is, though, that we're also focused on the pain and the suffering and the underworld and the shady dealings going on, that we're forgetting that it's our job and our job alone to bring in the frequencies of a new earth. There is nobody else doing that job but you. It is your job, therefore, to remember to keep shifting back into that place of vision, into that place of creativity and playfulness, because there will always be plenty of people in the world to focus on the bad and help wake each other up to that. You're not wrong for having witnessed that and sharing that. Absolutely, it's an important part of the process, but give yourself permission to let go and understand that that was not the specific job that you were given, and that there is so much joy and love open for you, and that those are your avenues to abundance and healing as well. I hope that that makes sense. Please feel free to ask a follow-up question.